Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, Review 4, chapters 13 through 16. This is exercise G, parsing Latin to English, focusing on syntax. Sententia prima. Signum datum est, tum milites cas rahostium appugnaverunt. Signum, from signum e neuter, a sign, a signal, military standard. The nominative singular subject, if it is nominative, because it's a second declension neuter, but it could also be, because it's neuter, the accusative case, showing the direct object, because no preposition precedes the noun, therefore it's not showing, say, motion towards. Datum est, well, given that datum est is passive voice, that eliminates the accusative direct object because only under some very special circumstances, and actually rather on the specific and rare side circumstances, will you have an accusative direct object if your verb is passive voice. Normally you can't do that. So nominative singular subject is signum. Signal, sign, signal, military standard is the subject of. Datum est, from do, dare, dedi, datus, to give, is because we have a present tense of sum as the helping verb of the fourth principal part of the verb. We have the perfect passive, it's indicative, and third person singular. We can also tell by the of datum, it's not datus or data, it's datum, that the thing that was given is neuter. So the signum matches up with the signum. The sign, the signal, was given. The sign has been given. The signal has been given. Then there's a semicolon, and now we move into the next part. Tum milites cas rahostium appugnaverunt. So tum is an adverb meaning then, at that time. Milites, from miles militis, masculine, it means a soldier. The milites, because a third declension masculine noun, milites, es, it could be a nominative case, at which point it would be the subject, or it could be accusative case showing the direct object because no preposition precedes it showing motion towards. Casra, from casra orum, always neuter, always plural, means camp. It, because of its endings, could be nominative or accusative, the nominative subject or the accusative direct object, because no preposition precedes it. Either the soldiers will do something to the camp, or the camp will do something to the soldiers. The suspense is killing me. Hostium, hostis, hostis masculine, a third declension masculine I stem. So the genitive plural is hostium, eum instead of hostum. And this is a genitive of possession. It's not really objective and it's not partitive. It is the camp of the enemy, the enemy's camp. We could even say the enemy camp. And appugnaverunt, from appugno, appugnare, appugnavi, appugnatus, to attack. Who did the attacking? Erunt, third person plural. They did it, perfect tense. Active voice, as opposed to the passive voice of the signal that was given. The soldiers actively have attacked the camp of the enemy. Soldiers is the subject, the camp is the direct object. Unless you think the camp attacked the soldiers. No, the milites, the subject, attacked the direct object. Then the soldiers attacked the camp of the enemy camp. The signal was given. The soldiers then attacked the enemy camp. Indeed. Optime, sententia secunda. Multae naves in flumine visae erunt sub ponte lato. So, multae, from multus much, plural, many. Multi could be genitive or dative singular, feminine, or nominative, plural, feminine. But as an adjective, it either agrees with the noun or it is acting by itself, and therefore as an adjective it is acting substantively, which is a fancy word for a noun. Naves, well, that answers that. Naves from navis, navis feminine is a ship, a boat, a floaty on the water thing. So navis, navis feminine, a third declension feminine I stem. So genitive plural would be navium. We don't have that here. We have naves. So either the nominative plural feminine, which point it would be the subject, or the accusative plural feminine, which point it would show the direct object, because no preposition showing motion towards precedes the noun. Could multi agree with naves? Conceivably, yes. Multi and naves could both be nominative plural feminine to mean many ships, a multitude of ships, manifold ships. In flumine, in plus the accusative would show motion towards, into, or onto, but in plus the ablative, which we have here, shows location in or on. The flumen, fluminous, neuter, river, or stream. It is a third declension neuter, flumen, fluminous, flumini, flumen, flumine. There it is, flumine, the ablative. The plural would be flumina, fluminum, fluminibus, flumina, fluminibus, fortalols. Here we have the ablative of location, in plus the ablative in flumine, on the river, or in the river. Many ships, they're probably on the river. There are many ships on the river. Visai erunt. So this is a passive form. It's going to be future perfect passive because of the future tense helping verb form of sum, helping out the fourth principal part of video, videre, vidi, visus. Note that, like an adjective, it's agreeing with the subject, so looks nominative plural feminine to agree with nominative plural feminine multi naves. So it was the many ships which will have been seen. Will have been seen. Notice the third plural, erunt. That's the future of sum, acting as a helping verb. Many ships will have been seen on the river, sub. Preposition sub taking the accusative would show motion towards, right up to, but sub plus the ablative shows location underneath, beneath, under. Pons, pontus masculine, is a third declension masculine I stem. The genitive plural would be pontium, but here we have the ablative. Pons, pontus, ponti, pontem, ponte. There it is. The plural for talols would be pontes, pontium, pontibus, pontes, pontibus, but we have the ablative singular. Sub ponte, under the bridge. What kind of bridge is it? It's a lato bridge, latus a wide, broad, latitude. Also ablative, singular, and masculine. Under the wide bridge. Many ships will have been seen on the river under the wide bridge. Or many ships on the river will have been seen under the wide bridge. Optime, tertia, sententia tertia. Num arma milites portatis ab hostium castris? Num, we are asking a question, an interrogative, you can tell by the question mark, and the introductory word num. Num introduces an interrogative where we expect a no answer. A no answer. So, no. We want the answer to this to be no. Num arma. Arma, aurum, always neuter, always plural. Arms, defensive arms, weapons. Either nominative subject or the accusative plural direct object. No preposition precedes arma, so it's not motion towards the arma, the arms. It would just be the direct object of some verb. Notice the commas, thank you English editor, offsetting the word milites. Milites being a noun, miles militus masculine. Now the form could be nominative, it could be accusative, but the commas help you out. This is vocative plural. The vocative plural of soldier. So plural soldiers, we're calling them or directly addressing them. The vocative is used for direct address, calling them by their name or title, what they are. Soldiers! Something to do with arma. Portatis. All right, we're addressing second person plural. You, soldiers. So arma, not the subject. Arma is the direct object of portatis. From porta, portare, portavi, portatus, to carry. Something that is portable, is able to be carried. Transport, to carry across. This is portatis, a second person plural tis on the present stem, so just the present tense, second person plural, present active indicative. Y'all carry, ye carry the weapons. Now we're asking a question and we're expecting a no answer. You soldiers aren't carrying the weapons, are you? Of course not. Why would you ask? Let's finish up. Ab hostium castris. Ab, preposition from, away from, takes the ablative, showing separation. It can also mean by, at which point it would take the ablative to show personal agent. Ab hostium. Hostium is an ablative. Hostis, masculine, enemy, public enemy, as a third declension I stem, a masculine I stem. It's genitive plural is hostium, as it is here. So not the ablative, but castris is the ablative to go with ab. Casra, orum, always neuter, always plural. Camp, could either be the dative, it's not dative, or the ablative, it's ablative, going with the preposition ab. So it's ablative of separation, not personal agent, because camp is not a person. Also, personal agent only works with the verb is passive, and this verb is active. So we're moving away from the camp, belonging to the enemy. The camp of the enemy, the genitive plural, genitive of possession, the enemy's camp. Or we could just say the enemy camp. And that is whence, from where we are carrying the arma, the weapons. You soldiers aren't carrying the weapons away from the camp, are you? Why would you ask that? Of course not. No. Quarta, sententia quarta. Urbes a multis civibus, cum ducibus obpugnabuntur. So urbes, from urbs, orbis, feminine, city. As a third declension feminine I stem, its genitive plural would be urbium, but here we have es, urbes. It's either the nominative subject or the accusative plural direct object. It would be the direct object if accusative because no preposition precedes the noun. It's the first word, urbes. Ab, preposition from, away from, takes the ablative showing separation, or it could mean by, by, and take an ablative to show personal agent, to show the person, the agent is the one doing a passive voice verb. Multis, from multus much, plural, many. So multis is either the dative or ablative, plural, either masculine, feminine, or neuter. It's not going to be dative. It's going to be ablative because of the preposition a. We just don't know whether it's separation or personal agent yet. Civibus, from civus, common. That's either masculine or feminine. And once again, it's either dative, it's not dative, or it's ablative, it's totally ablative because of the preposition ab. Multis agrees with it in gender numbering case. Ablative, plural, common, masculine or feminine, probably going to be masculine as Latin's a sexist language. We still don't know whether it is separation or personal agent though. We can either be moving away from many citizens or a passive voice verb can be done by many citizens. Don't know, have to read on. Cum, preposition cum means with. Takes the ablative to show either accompaniment or manner. Ducibus, your favorite way to get to school, to ride the Dukey bus. Dux, ducus, masculine. That's a leader. Ducibus is either dative, it's not dative, it's totally ablative to go with the preposition cum, showing ablative of accompaniment, not manner. You don't really do things in the manner of a leader. I guess you could, but it's probably more common to do things with leaders. Appugnabuntur, from appugno, appugnare, appugnavi, appugnatus, to attack. Apugna buntor. Buntor, untor, first off, this is third person plural passive. The buntor tells us it's future. So third person plural, they, the cities. The cities are the subject, nominative subject. The cities will be attacked. Third plural, future, passive, indicative. The cities will be attacked by many citizens along with their leaders. The cities will be attacked by many citizens with their leaders. So many citizens in the company of their leaders. They're the agent. They're the ones that are going to do. They're the doers of the passive voice verb. Optime, quinta, sententia quinta. Est longa via a meo oppido ad vestram urbem. Is it really? Est longa. Est, third person singular, present active indicative of sum esse fui futurus. And note the position of the form est here. Usually when we have a form of to be that is first in the sentence, usually denotes existential est, existential sum. Some form of sum esse fui futurus, that means that there is a thing. A thing exists. We usually translate as est, there is. There is something. What is there? A longa via, longa saum, the adjective to modify via. Via I feminine, a road, street, or way, as the nominative singular subject, and longa also being a nominative singular subject agreeing with it, it is the subject of the verb est. What is there? There is a long road. The via is from meo oppido, meos aon, adjective, possessive adjective, meaning my, mine, modifying oppido. Oppidum e neuter, a town, and both are ablative, both are singular, both are neuter, showing separation. Because this is not a passive voice verb. This is the verb we use to make other voices passive voice. It itself is not passive, it's active. So we have an ablative of separation here. They're moving away from, the road is away from my town. Odd, preposition odd, takes the accusative, to, towards, near. We're going towards vestram urbem, vester, vestra, vestrum, your, yours, plural, possessive adjective, to agree with urbem, orbs, orbis, feminine, a city. These are both accusative, singular, and feminine, accusative of motion towards with the preposition odd. So the via, that long road, is, est, it exists, from my town to, towards, your, y'all's city. The city of ye, your city. There is a long road from my town to your city. Optime. Sexta, sententia sexta. Nonne multi pueri visi erant in magna nave? Nonne. Opposite of num. If num expects a question where the answer is no, or we ask a question where the answer is expected to be no, nonne is asking a question where the answer is expected to be yes. It is a compound of non and ne. So it's like saying, had something not been done. Had this not been done? Yes, it had. Hadn't this been done? It had, yes. Nonne, so the answer we want it to be yes. Multi agrees with pueri, multisaon. Puer, pueri, masculine, a boy. So much, plural, many, with boy, both being nominative, plural, masculine, the subject of the passive voice verb visi erant. So many boys, a lot of boys, they did something, they're the subject. Actually, they didn't do something. The something happened to them because the verb is passive voice. They're still the subject, but the passive voice verb, the action of video, videre, vidi, visus happens to the subject. So third person plural, pluperfect active, pluperfect passive indicative, visi erant, Notice we see agrees with pueri, nominative plural masculine. So many boys had been seen. Had been seen, pluperfect passive. Now we need to ask that and then expect a yes answer from that, or try to influence a yes answer out of that. Hadn't many boys been seen? Had not many boys been seen? Many boys had been seen, hadn't they? Yes. Hopefully the answer to all three of those permutations is yes. In magna nave, let's finish up. In plus the accusative would show motion towards, into, or onto, but in plus the ablative, like we have here, is location, in or on. Magnus aon, big, great, large, ablative singular feminine, to agree with the ablative singular feminine nave. Navis feminine, ship, boat, the English word navy, bunch of boats. So navis feminine, a third declension feminine I stem. Nawe is the ablative to go with the preposition in plus the ablative of location, and magna agrees with nawe. On the big ship, in the big ship. Hadn't many boys been seen on the big ship? Many boys had been seen on the big ship, right? Many boys had been seen on the big ship, hadn't they? Oh yes, of course, obviously. Septima, sententia septima. Cum legato forti erant consules audaces. Cum, preposition cum meaning with, takes the ablative to show either accompaniment with someone, along with someone, or manner, in the manner of, with some sort of thing, in the manner of doing something. Legato, from legatus e masculine, a delegate, someone who's picked out, an ambassador, an envoy. So legatus can also mean lieutenant. It's going to be ablative to go with the preposition cum. Ablative, singular, masculine. It's going to be accompaniment because it's not going to be manner. I suppose you can do something in the manner or in the style of an ambassador, but it's a little weird. Probably more likely to be accompaniment. So along with the envoy, who is forti, brave or strong, fortis forte. A third declension, two termination adjective, fortis forte. So because it's agreeing with legato in gender numbering case, both are ablative singular and feminine. This is forti. Remember, all third declension adjectives have I stem endings. Even masculine adjectives have the ablative singular letter I. Cum legato forti, along with the brave lieutenant, along with the strong envoy. Errant, third person plural. Imperfect active indicative of sum esse fui futurus. Linking verb, something was strong, or something was someone, or there were some things that were with the strong lieutenant. They are the consules audaces, consul, consulus masculine, consul, one of the two supreme executive magistrates of the Roman Republic. This is either the nominative or accusative plural. If it's nominative, it's going to be the subject. And it has to be nominative because we have a form of to be. We have a linking verb, sum esse fui futurus. And we cannot have an accusative direct object if our verb is a linking verb, sum esse fui futurus. So nominative subject. The consuls were. They're also brave. Audax audacis is a third declension, one termination. Audax being the nominative for the masculine, the feminine, and the neuter. You just have to know the genitive of these one termination adjectives, and that's why audacis is there. So you know the stem is audac. It agrees in gender numbering case with consules. Both are masculine, both are plural, and both are nominative. The bold, the daring, the audacious consuls were with the brave lieutenant. With the brave lieutenant were the audacious consuls. The daring consuls were alongside the strong envoy. All of those options are perfectly fine. Optime, octava, sententia octava. Sedebant ne prope viam decem ex agricolis miseris. Oh. Sedebant ne. The ne on the end of the first word of this sentence tells us we are dealing with an interrogative, a question. We are asking a question that can be answered by a yes or no. None, we try and influence the answer to be yes. Num, we try and influence the answer to be no. Nay, it's a neutral. Yes, no. Just tell me. Sedebant ne, so it's sedebant. Third person plural, imperfect, active, indicative of sedeo, sedere, sedi, sessus. So they, third person plural, they were sitting. Were they sitting? It's a question. Yes or no? Were they sitting? We don't know who they were, really. We could find out. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Let's read on. Prope, preposition prope means besides, next to, near. Takes the accusative. Viam, hey, that's accusative. Going with prope. Via, I, feminine, road, street, way. We are near or next to the road. Were they sitting next to the road? They should be careful. There might be some fast-moving vehicles in that road. Decem. Decem is indeclinable. It's a numeral, and that makes it an adjective as it modifies a noun. 10 something. Because it's indeclinable, it will not change forms. It will always be decem, 10. Ex, preposition ex, meaning out of, moving out of, takes ablative of separation. Agricolis, that's got to be ablative. Agricola, I, masculine. Ablative of separation, meaning farmers. And then miseris agrees with agricolis. Miser, misera, miserum. Wretched, poor, unfortunate. Also ablative, also plural, also masculine. Now, when we have a numeral like decem, a number, and then a preposition like ex or de, de, plus the ablative, this is typically the partitive idea. Instead of using the partitive genitive, numerals and adjectives denoting numbers of quantity usually takes ex or de plus the ablative to show the partitive idea instead of the partitive genitive. So decem is the subject, 10 out of the wretched farmers, meaning that there's a large group of wretched farmers and then 10 out of them were sitting near the road, next to the road. Were 10 of the miserable farmers sitting next to the road? We're asking a question, expecting a yes-no answer. Were 10 out of the wretched farmers sitting near the road? No, or yes, I don't know. Nona, sententia nona. Bona fortuna nostrorum natarum civibus nuntiabitur. Bona, from bonusa good, agrees with fortuna, fortuna, I, feminine, fortune, luck, chance. Bona fortuna, good luck, nominative singular, feminine, the subject. Nostrorum, nostrorum from noster, nostra, nostrum, our, belonging to us. It's going to be genitive, it's going to be plural, it's going to be masculine or neuter. It's going to be masculine because it agrees with nautarum, nauta, I, masculine, sailor. This is genitive, plural, and masculine because remember, nauta is masculine, a first declension masculine. It is the good fortune, the good luck of our sailors, belonging to our sailors. Our sailors' good luck, good fortune, civibus, dative or ablative plural of civibus, common, masculine or feminine. And then nuntiabitur is nuntio, nuntiare, nuntiavi, nuntiatus. The third person singular, because it's got that tur. It's future, because it's got that bitur ending. So, and it's passive and indicative. He, she, it will be announced, will be reported. Will be reported to the dative indirect object citizens. What will be reported? This passive voice verb? The subject, the good fortune, belonging to our sailors, will be reported to the citizens. Our sailors' good fortune will be reported to the citizens. Will be announced to the citizens. Annunciabitur will be announced to the citizens. Optime en decima, sententia decima. Portatum est frumentum ex agris a multis puellarum. Portatum est from porto, portare, portavi, portatus, to carry. Portatum comes from the fourth principal part, portatus saum, and the present tense helping verb of sum esse fui futuras tells us that this together is a third person singular perfect passive indicative. And the subject's going to be neuter. Like frumentum, neuter. Grain, nominative, singular, neuter, the subject. So what was carried? What has been carried? The grain has been carried. The grain did not do the carrying. This verb is passive. The subject grain was carried, has been carried. Ex, preposition out of, the ablative of separation. Agris, from ager, agri, masculine. Fields, farmland. We are coming out of the ablative separation, fields. Probably carrying the grain out of the fields. Ab, preposition from, away from, showing separation. Or it could be by, taking an ablative of personal agent. By multis. Multis, from multus aum, much, plural, many. Probably going to be ablative, plural, either masculine or feminine or neuter, not sure. And then puellarum. Well, puellarum is not puellis. It's not by many girls. It's by many puellarum of the girls. Puellarum is genitive, plural, a puellai, feminine. This is a partitive genitive, from many of the girls. So there's a whole group of girls. And then part of that whole group of girls are many. And they're the ones, they're the agents, the doers of the carrying of the grain out of the fields. By many, that makes multis feminine. It stands in for a multis puellis puellarum. By many girls, out of the girls, out of the whole group of them. The grain was carried out of the fields by many of the girls. By many out of the girls. Optime, very well done. That completes syntax exercise G of review 4. You are now ready to move on to the next exercise, exercise G, or exercise H. Valete omnes.